We are on live. We are live, Manuela. Please, Manuela, you can go. Oh, we lost Manuela.
She's just muted.
Manuela?
Unmute.
I don't know why I was muted. Sorry, I didn't realize.
Okay, can you just go with your presentation? We are live at this moment on YouTube.
Okay, sorry for that. Europe supporting Africa, Spirit of the Games Foundation project, team and team. I will call the team to participate. I will present the title, and the team members that are present, please discuss the project as I move along with the slides. So the theme is Women and Agriculture, supporting women to strengthen agricultural resilience in a context of food crisis. Team members, please feel free to join. Paul, anyone willing to discuss the project, please? Anyone here? Okay, I'll go ahead then. Okay, the project is on sustainable agriculture for women farmers, a solution by the Spirit of the Game Foundation team. It's an online platform called Sustainable Agriculture for Women Farmers to provide women farmers globally with practical information on eco-friendly sustainable agriculture. The platform, which we will put together, will combine successful models from women farmers, educational programs from global leaders in sustainable agriculture, and allow women farmers to share information and support each other. The solution aims to promote sustainable practices, enhance productivity, and improve food security. So the long-term goal will be to build a global online community network of women farmers. Again, if anyone wants to join from the team, please feel free. What sets this project apart? The project focuses on proven, successful, and sustainable grassroots practices and shares those practices with other women throughout the world via a web-based format. The desired long-term impact of this project is to encourage and support all women farmers in practicing eco-friendly, healthy, and sustainable agriculture and nutrition throughout Africa and beyond. We have some project partners and are working on more. One of them is Smart Access to Health for All. It's a nonprofit connecting people in remote places. And as I said, more are coming in. Okay. All right. Okay. I hope Trent is around because he will be coming in soon. So this project's uniqueness, aside from the multicultural and passionate team, which I hope will come on and speak a little bit, are several. It portrays how European and US experts can assist female farmers in Africa, both in the tech, health, and education, as well as many other dimensions. It incorporates other cross-continental support initiatives, such as the Smart Access to Health for All, a nonprofit connecting people in remote places, and other partnerships, which will be coming up soon. And it highlights how Europe and other continents can learn, and also Africa. This is promoting a lifelong learning process, which is exactly what is needed. And on this note, I leave the floor. If my team does not want to participate, I leave the floor to the next speaker, who will discuss what Europe can learn from Africa on topics such as resilience, community, and pan-continentalism. Trent, the floor is yours if Paul and Olive and the rest don't want to say a word about the project, which I hope they will. So please, anyone has questions, feel free to share thoughts, communicate.
Manuela, thank you for the presentation. I think this is an amazing project you are working with Spirit of the Game. Can you explain a little bit in more detail what this project will be made of? I mean, it's going to be a web platform where female can I don't know, register themselves. They can find the resources. They can be connected with other women. They can have suggestions. They can look for funding. How exactly is going to be? Do you already have an idea or not yet?
Yes, Paul, can you help me out, please?
Yeah, no problem. That's a
you.
great question. That's a
Yeah.
great question, Manessa. It's an online, for a start, it's an online platform where small business farmers, we're targeting small business farmers in particular, can get resources on sustainable farming techniques. Now, the highlight here is sustainable farming techniques, because we want to get people away from the commercial way of doing things, which is very expensive and it's not great for the planet. And so it's going to start off that way with courses that are available for women, and then they will be able to, when they register for these courses, develop a network between themselves. The project is going to start with a few countries, and then hopefully it will become a more global thing as more people come in, but it's going to start in Africa first. We're going to test it here first. We're going to see what works, what doesn't work, and then adjust it here and there as we go along. We are also seeking funding partners at the moment, with Henry's help and Manuela's help as well, and we'll be developing the synopsis of this project as we go along. So mainly it's just to see how it's going to work out, and then we'll adjust it from there. But how it is going to start is an online platform with courses available on sustainable farming techniques. I hope that answers your question.
And let me add one more small part. The Smart Access to Health, Smart Access to Health for All organization, nonprofit, is going to also provide an app. So we're going to be part of another project at the same time, always directed towards Africa, that will put together a platform where they will have three initiatives. One is literacy, the other one is health, and the third one is women in agriculture in Africa. Sorry, I have a bad sore throat, so bear with me because this week has been torturing.
Thank you so much. Thank you to both of you.
Yeah, I do understand, Manuela, that we're partnering with Jackie. Is that the aspect of health that will be coming in, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We're just jumping in. Yep. Correct.
Awesome.
We have two people with the hand raised up, so Sana and Abdulrahman. So Sarah, ladies first.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much also for the presentation. That seems very interesting. I have a question regarding to maybe the first steps, or maybe where the first action will be implemented. Are we talking about a geographical location? Because it needs to start from somewhere.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and how is it going to expand, and what is like the methodology that we hope to achieve to reach, let's say, the continent itself? Thank you.
Well, we're
Okay, so go ahead, Manuela.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the three initial countries that are involved in implementing the project right now is Kenya, Botswana, and Lesotho. Now, it's an online platform, so it is available to everyone who can connect in. So it's not going to limit us to just those three countries. In terms of we're working on the methodology as we speak. We have submitted the project proposal, but we are doing the methodology right now on how we are going to get it all rolled out. But as an online platform, we have the resources available to create those courses. That is there already. And then it will be all about social media marketing to get it out to everyone else in the rest of the continent. Manuela, would you like to add something?
Yes, just that we will have several partners also that will be helping out, and we will also have the contribution of experts in the area. I did not put everything down in the project in the slides, but we will have contribution from experts in the area that will feed in the project and help us target the different areas of interest. Sana,
Thank
did
you
we
very
answer
much.
your question, or you want more? You know,
Yes, I'm very much into this super way to connect with. So for professional to connect and to learn from each other, and I very much think that this kind of platform is extremely useful for any region actually, but also for those who would like to connect and to learn from each other and to gain some insights and solution-oriented platform. I've been working in something quite more or less similar in my former duties, like more very recently actually. It was about connecting initiatives in Great Lakes, in Great Lakes region, and also in Lake Chad region, which are two very challenging but yet different regions also. One of the challenge that we had, and this is one thing that I'm very curious to know about, is actually the connectivity, the access to digital tools and so on and so forth. There's different solutions based on different relief and different places that we're implementing this. But now that I know that it's in Kenya and some other country, in Botswana, how are you going to communicate about this? Are we going to communicate about this? And how are we going to support any connectiveness issue?
Paul, will you answer that? Given that you are from the country.
Yes, that is a great question. Thank you for asking that, because it is a challenge. And I'm so glad there's someone in this room who has experience with that. So I'm very interested to talk about it further with you and get some more insights from Sana. In terms of connectivity, okay, now this is a challenge. Why it's challenging is that there's an energy crisis at the current moment. And it's an energy crisis for us right now because it's winter. Winter and us, it's a nightmare. So come summertime, everything improves a little bit better. And in terms of internet connectivity, we're not that bad. In fact, I think we're pretty up there with most the target market usually having access to internet. So now mobile data as well, especially with the carrier service. This is Botswana, for instance. For 1 gig to 2 gigs of data is not that expensive. They've reduced the price a little bit. It's getting better and better. But we are hoping to address these challenges even more as we do further research on how we can help out with this issue, to help out with connectivity. But we're working on it. But thank you, Sana, for bringing that up. Kenya and Lesotho, they can further add to connectivity and communication. Like working on Spirit of the Game right now, communication seems to be fine, my experience of it. We're in the same time zone, which is nice. Africa, there's a time zone difference between 1 or 2 hours. Olive is 1 hour ahead of me, and the Nigerians are 1 hour behind me, if I'm not mistaken. So time zone wise, we're okay in communicating in the same time frame. And the other thing I wanted to add, something that really excites me about this project that you mentioned in connecting with people and benchmarking. It's the benchmarking. Is to find people and experts and women who are experienced in these farming techniques to join the platform so that other people can learn from them and benchmark from their techniques. So the goal for me is to get other people learning how other people do it. And that's the exciting part. I'm not sure if Olive and Refilwe want to add something. I know Refilwe at the moment Guys, for her to have joined is actually very good because they're currently going through load shedding. So if Refilwe and Olive would like to add something about that, that would be great. I hope that answers your question, Sana. But we can always discuss it further later because I'd like to talk to you more.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, it's a very passionate topic, and I would very much try to support whatever support I can give. I will be very happy to give. But something that you have said that is extremely relevant also, everything is relevant, but this absolutely relevant thing is that the time zone and also the experience in terms of digital technology. Just for the records, Malawi is actually at the heart of the development and at the heart of the innovation in terms of technology. But I absolutely think that there is a lot of learning to do with all the initiative that we're in touch with Malawi's forum lately that happened maybe a couple of weeks ago or will happen. I don't remember well, but I do think that there is a lot of innovation to take from this. Thank you very much.
Sana, thank you very much. And so feel free, to share any thoughts, ideas, and to jump in this project if you wish. I know you have a lot of a heavy schedule, so feel free. We would love to have you, right, girls?
We have Abdul Rahman that wants to ask a question. Forgive me if I was wrong with your name. Abdul Rahman.
Good afternoon, good evening. I don't know if you are in evening from there, but here is in the afternoon in Nigeria. Samantha, if I have pronounced the name very well. Thank you for the presentation, Mrs. Manuela. It is indeed a great pleasure to be here. My major concern is that Nigeria is not involved, and I think due to the high number of women that are currently unengaged in the agricultural sector, I think that is another factor of consideration that Nigeria should be involved in this project. There are a lot of like minds like me, like myself, who are actually working to see that women are involved in agricultural sector. Not only agricultural sector, due to the economic downfall in Nigeria, there are so many crises due to banditry and other factors that contributing to unemployment. So there is high rate of poverty as well in Nigeria. So, and women fall to be victims of that. So I think I might give this suggestion that if Nigeria could be considered as well, since you are going to start with a kind of a digital platform where education will be shared amongst them. I think that will be a great thing for Nigeria to be part of this program. Then, based on my experience, I've been working with a lot of organizations in agricultural sector. Currently an MSc student, currently doing my research on wheat. So also doing my MBA. So actually, there are a lot of women due to our social and cultural issues. A lot of women are being discouraged and going into agricultural sector. So those are the things that I think there's high need for Nigeria to be part of this program. So this is it.
Sorry to interrupt you. I completely agree with you. We have spoken the past, few days, and this is exactly the project I wanted you to attend and listen to. So it's perfect. Any contribution, and I agree with you. Nigeria should be part, of the study, and we're willing to incorporate it, as we implement and move forward. If that's okay, and if you want to fit in somehow, we're happy, right, team?
Yeah, sure. I'll fit in. Sure. This is the right opportunity I've been waiting for to see how I can give my own contribution to agriculture. So I've been in a lot of groups, like, for example, I'm the regional coordinator of voluntary job, like Vision for Africa Foundation, Foundation of Smart and Digital, Foundation of Youth in Smart and Digital Agriculture. So there are a lot of organizations but this spirit of the game is actually different. It's kind of something very amazing that will actually inspire and change the mindset of people. So I'm willing to
Thank
fit
you.
in.
Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you,
Go ahead.
Abdul. I just wanted to clarify something. This is open for all the countries in Africa.
Yeah.
Just because Mpo is from Botswana, Refugio from Lesotho, and I from Kenya, doesn't mean it's only going to be done in only three
Yes,
countries.
and you know, we're more, sorry, Olive, and we're more than happy to bring in, you know, knowledgeable people that can add and contribute. You know, the bigger this idea becomes, the happier we will be. Another thing that I did not emphasize is that regardless of whether we are selected in the Paris Peace Forum, this project is going to move ahead. So it's not, it doesn't rely on the outcome of the Paris Peace Forum, you know, selection. We're very happy to bring it forward. We're currently trying to find the funding and working on partnerships. So any help, we believe in it. In a few words, we believe in it. So all of us here really believe in it and have our hearts into it. So any help is more than welcome.
Manuela, on the topic of help, quick question. Do you envision this as a website or as an app, or are you trying to do both from the beginning?
We're going to try to do both, but you know, we want to also see, initially it was just web. The app is coming in, you know, both. To be honest, both. Now I don't know where we're going to start implementing first, which one is going to move faster, but both.
Okay, I'll ask one of my app developer contacts if they'd be interested in participating in this. I see Yannick has had his hand up for a while now.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Yes, I think we should answer Yannick. I hope he's going to ask the question in English.
Ah, ok. Laisse-moi parler en français parce que là, je serai quand même free de bien orienter ma contribution. Ça va, Manuel?
Bien sûr. Oui, oui, ça va.
Ok. Bon, en fait, je tenais d'abord à vous remercier parce que votre initiative est louable vraiment. Et du coup, à notre niveau, votre projet cherche à résoudre un problème. Mais ici, en RDC, c'est un problème auquel nous faisons déjà face. Parce que la fois passée, je vous avais dit que je suis gérant d'une ferme agricole qui a plus de 23 hectares et 35 étangs piscicoles. Mais pour le moment, on travaille sur la production de maïs, le passiflore et l'arachide. Mais on est confronté à un problème lié aux perturbations climatiques, malgré qu'on parle que la RDC, vraiment, la RDC a des forêts, le climat est doux. Mais à un certain moment, on n'arrive pas à bien gérer les hausses. Des fois, il y a une forte pluie et on n'a pas de technologie, on n'a pas des informations qui pouvaient nous aider quand même à prévoir toutes ces catastrophes. Et du coup, à mon humble avis, j'aimerais quand même vous solliciter si, dans le cadre des triangulations, des comparaisons des données, par exemple, vous pouvez choisir un pays francophone. Parce qu'actuellement, je pense que nous qui sommes dans des pays francophones, surtout en Afrique subsaharienne, on n'arrive pas à avoir une intention de certaines personnalités qui développent des initiatives. Et du coup, on demeure dans des problèmes parce qu'on n'arrive pas à avoir des alliés qui peuvent nous aider vraiment à résoudre ces problèmes. Pour ça, vraiment, d'abord pour l'initiative, je vous demanderai s'il y a encore moyen de pouvoir inclure un pays de l'Afrique subsaharienne, surtout de l'Afrique centrale, parce que le niveau de...
Ok. Yannick, oui, je suis ouverte. On parlera de ça les prochains jours, OK? C'est OK pour toi?
OK.
Je suis très contente si un pays francophone pourrait rejoindre notre pays. Comme Olive a déjà dit, on est ouvert à toutes les collaborations possibles. Donc,
d'accord, merci beaucoup. Et nous, vraiment, on sera là, étant donné qu'on travaille même avec des centres de recherche en sciences agronomiques. On a la facilité de pouvoir disponibiliser certaines données climatologiques, les pratiques agricoles, comment est-ce que les gens façon résiliente par rapport aux perturbations climatiques. Et ça nous
Ok,
fera-
parfait. Parfait,
Ok.
Yannick. Je vais parler en anglais, comme ça les autres pourront aussi comprendre.
Ouais, ouais.
Je vais dire ce que tu as dit, ok? En bref. So he wants to join us too in a few words. He thinks that Francophone African countries should join. And he sees them contributing. He has experience in this sector, and he wants to also include other dimensions. And I told him he's welcome to join, welcome to help. And given that even Olive and M4 agree that the more we bring, the more we spread, the better it is. So that's the translation of what he said. Right, Yannick?
Thank you, thank you.
Anybody
other-
else who wants to ask questions or give a contribution in this explanation or presentation? It
Grant?
seems-
Grant?
Could I
I
add
thought-
something?
I thought Trent was going to, discuss.
Manuela, Nancy was actually wanted to ask a question before.
Sure.
Nancy.
Yes.
Thank you. I wanted to find out, because Mapo did a good synopsis of program. And it's not only on the ground with people, the women that's going to be farming, it's also going to be a lot of different tools for educating the women remotely and online with courses and stuff. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. See, I'm thinking.
Yeah, we're
farming.
going to have, in the project itself, I did not detail everything because, at this point, it's not, but we're going to have experts. We're going to have, speaking to us. We're going to have input from women, like Mpo stated, experienced women that will serve as benchmarks. We're going to have many different dimensions. And as we speak, it seems that other dimensions are coming in, which is great. I mean, Yannick
Yeah.
just, so it's great. It's going to be stronger than what we were even imagining.
Right,
So-
right. And which is great because Abdul is on here for this week. He was on a couple of programs, and this is a great opening for his country in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and that's what I was
so-
speaking to him over the week.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted him to attend today. And,
Oh,
he picked,
wonderful, wonderful.
yeah, I asked him, I told him, and I told him we were going to speak further, but attend, my presentation because it will speak to you. It did.
Mhm.
I wanted him to get, the input from the presentation first.
Right,
And Yannick, the
this-
same.
this is
Yannick and I have been talking about collaborating on another issue, but, I'm very glad that he's also interested in this.
right.
That's
It
great.
actually brings in a lot of the probably, out there in a lot of the countries in Africa. It could help a lot of people there,
Yes,
this program. Thank you, Manuela.
you're welcome, Nancy. Any other questions? Simonetta, you have
Manuela, would you like to say the day and time we meet for the new
What?
people? Would you like to inform people of the day and the time we meet? Once a week?
Oh,
We
yeah.
normally-
Yes, but yeah, for the moment, it's going to be next week. I think we're going to have a break because I won't be there.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I think we're going to start meeting again mid-June. Normally we meet on Thursdays at 5 my time set. So for an hour. So, but anyone that wants to join, just contact me, and I will put them in the group. So
Yes.
Yannick, Abdul, anyone else, I am open. Anyone that can contribute to the project because it's bigger than actually. It's not just the Paris Peace Forum. That's the
Yeah.
side. It's going to be bigger. And we have many ways, to think about and bring it forward. It's a pity that Henry could not join either, but we're working on many things, and I think it's a key project for Africa, but for the world too. So there's a lot of learning and sharing, and I think that's the key thing. I don't think it's going to be only Africa learning. I think Europe is going to be learning, US is going to be learning.
Yeah, when we were discussing, because in the application, it does ask us how you intend to scale, and that is how we intended to scale, was to make it a global
Good job.
thing. And I'd just like to thank Manuela for her presentation. It was fantastic.
I tried my best. Sorry, I don't have a voice. My voice is going down this week so badly. I cannot even talk. I'm pushing.
That was great. Thank you, Manuela. That was great.
Drink more water.
Thank you,
Too
Manuela,
many
not only for
presentations,
the
Manuela.
presentation, but for bringing attention to this project.
We're all very passionate. All of us are very passionate.
I know you're passionate about Africa. I'm so glad. Yeah.
Africa and all the kids of Africa and all the family of Africa. You know that.
Well, yeah. Well, so to finish out this segment, the title of the segment was Europe Supporting Africa. But we wanted to make it clear that this is a two-way street, and it needs to be a two-way street. Do you mind putting that last slide back up there so I can remember my talking points, Manuela?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, so a few of the areas that I have observed where Europe can benefit from Africa, and North America as well. So I am an American living in Europe. Switzerland sometimes says we're not European because we're not in the EU, but I get lots of those different cross-cultural perspectives. And the number one thing I wanted to just point out is just the concept of resilience, particularly during the early stages of the COVID pandemic. Europe was just freaking out. Literally like, oh my God, the world is ending. We have no idea how to deal with it. Our mental health stress went off the charts, like literally overnight. And during that same time, I was talking to lots of people in Africa. And yes, they were concerned, and yes, they were taking the measures, but they also just understood the fact that for a large degree, Africa has never had the safety cushion that Europe has had, because Europe, exploited Africa for so long, basically stole your safety cushion and used it to make our padded butts. But I won't get into that topic too deep right now. I'll just say that Europe has largely adopted, and North America as well, a better safe than sorry approach to societal programming. And that's a fine approach if you have extra resources. If you don't have extra resources, you cannot afford to approach every single issue with a better safe than sorry, because it's a waste of resources. It's something that's really nice when something goes wrong, but most of the time it's using resources that actually aren't fully utilized. But Africa, in terms of resilience, is far, far stronger than most of the rest of the world, because they've had to just deal with so many different things. And just on a really quick side note of corruption, I think this is like an opposite perspective that a lot of people think. A lot of people say, oh, Africa has so many problems because of its corruption. But I'll quote somebody who moved from Liberia to the United States, and she said, I used to think when I had to deal with the government in Liberia that they were really corrupt. And after getting to the US, a first world country, I realized in Liberia, they were just practicing. So most of the first world countries, so-called, have every bit as many problems as Africa. And in many cases, the same problems. They just have a bigger safety net to hide it. They have a lot more Band-Aids that they can put over those gaping cracks in society. But what COVID revealed, and now with climate change is revealing, is those cracks and how Western economic models never actually worked without exploitation. So this is one of the main messages that we have for African leaders or anybody that has access to leaders in Africa. You cannot succeed using the same economic model that the West used, because that model was based on exploitation, and there is no one left for you to exploit other than your own people. So whenever you hear an African leader talking about how they learned such and such technique from a Western government or business model, just question that technique. Say, okay, that's a great technique. Is it an exploitative technique? Or is it a productive technique? Is it a value creation technique? So I think that that's the number one thing that a lot of Europe and North America has to learn from Africa, is just resilience. Number two would be community. That at that same time, I just talked a little bit about kind of like that government approach from Africa, but also the business approach. A lot of people are temporarily succeeding in Africa right now using a Western business model that is based on competition over collaboration. And again, this is a short-term success. You can make some money in the short term using that type of model, but long-term, it is exploitative and it will run out. Whereas community never runs out. Community is the eternal untapped well that the more you draw from it and spread it around, the more it renews itself, and you end up with a sum that is greater than the parts. So that is the second thing that Africa needs to remember and needs to be proud of and needs to stand up and really show the rest of the world, we value community. You have a thing or two to learn. You all should be looking at Africa and looking at the successful community-based models that Africa, when implemented well, particularly thrives. And then that third one, the pan-continentalism. It's very rare when you ask somebody in Europe who they are, for them to first say, I am a European. Here, it's first, I am from XYZ country. And yes, we're a part of the EU. But you ask somebody from Africa, and frequently, I'm an African. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a Kenyan, but yeah, I identify first and foremost as an African, because that is one thing that a lot of people in Africa have recognized. And I think long-term, again, is one of Africa's greatest strengths, is that Pan-Africanism, that identity as we might have had our borders carved out and artificially created a long time ago, and we might not be able to do that, eradicate the borders and replace them with natural flow of information and of people, but we can still identify with our neighbors. We can still embrace the diversity of our continent and the strengths that we all will gain if we all draw from our neighbors. And again, that last part, might have come across as critical of Europe, but just to kind of like soften that a little bit. European diversity is also an amazing thing, and there are a lot of great cultural aspects of Europe that, when woven together, enhance and that actually complement each other. Sometimes it's butting heads, but just as often it's complementary. And the people who are open-minded enough to just say, okay, that's how that cultural aspect of the continent handles things. What can I learn from that? And what can I just refrain from judgment on? So I think in both contexts, there's a lot of potential with this sense of collaboration and saying we are all parts of a whole. The United States has many, many flaws, but binding together and being like, yes, we are much stronger together than we would be separately is one of America's strengths. I won't go into, I could go for literally the rest of the night on America's problems, but that is not what this segment is about. So just wanted to, emphasize that even though we put a particular title on that segment, we do not at all view this as a one-way street, that Africa is the poor child and Europe is the wise elder. Sure, Europe has a lot of technological knowledge that can be shared, but technological knowledge only goes so far without embracing that sense of community, without understanding the long-term consequences of our actions. So I'll go ahead and conclude my comments there, turn the floor back over to Manuela with any final words she has for this segment before we turn off the recording.
I just want to thank everyone, the entire team, those present and those absent. It's a great journey and it's very long. It will be a fantastic one, I'm sure. And, to emphasize further what Trent said, it's a lifelong learning process for everyone. Each one is, brings in their strengths, their weaknesses, and together it's the only way we can make it a better, smarter, and, actually change the world to win, to have impact. So again, only together. So that's my